my review of the Creedence Clearwater Revival album, Willy and the Poor Boys. It was released in 1969, produced by John Fogerty. So I can't remember exactly when I got this, like when I was getting all their albums, because I think I've said in the videos before, it was a really like quick period in time of when I got all their studio albums, and I probably got this somewhere in the middle. This album was kind of weird because going into it I wasn't expecting it to like it as much as I did, mainly based off of just stuff I've read about it, which I think kind of like the reviews I tend to read about this album seem to like underrate it a little bit, because they all talk about it like it's a little bit overrated. For some reason it seems to get kind of compared to Sgt. Pepper's and like a bunch of the stuff I've looked at, which is weird to me since, you know, it's, 69 and that was 67, and they're not really, I mean, I guess they're both kind of loose concept albums, so you have like that, but I mean, other than that, they really don't have anything in common. I think it's just that like CCR was one of those bands that was getting kind of like American Beatles things along with like 3 different other bands. So maybe that's where like the comparison comes from, since this is their like concept album. But I don't know, I think it's kind of a silly comparison. Anyway, I'm ranting. This album I've always liked though. First time I heard it, thought it was really good. And it's one of my more played albums by these guys. I don't want to say it's like it's definitely not like their country album, because they get to that later. But I do think I don't know, there's some stuff on here that to me sounds like a little more like country influenced and stuff than some of their albums before, and like what's to come next on the next 2 albums, before they go like really hard in that direction. But yeah, I don't know, it's I think a really solid album pretty much all the way through. The first track, Down on the Corner, a song I was familiar with from the Greatest Hits album I had, and I've always liked it. Just a catchy song with a bass line. Yeah, just a really great opening track. Fun song to start with. Then the second song, It Came Out of the Sky. One of my favorite songs on this album. It's kind of probably tied with another song for my favorite. Just a really fun, energetic song. Love Fogerty's vocal on it, and his guitar. Just, I don't know, it sounds really cool. The third track's a cover of the Lead Belly song Cotton Fields. This I was already familiar with like before this album, but from the Beach Boys version. It's on their album 2020. That version the only thing I really like about that version better than this version, which I do like that version a lot, but I like this version better. But on that version they do like more of the song. I don't know if they do the whole song. I kind of need to check out the original version. But they do like more of the song on here. And Creedence, with their version, they just kind of like do like one verse and then like keep repeating the chorus. So like, I wish they had done more of the song. But at the same time, I really like their arrangement. I like the way Fogerty sounds and singing it, and I like his guitar a lot on this song. It just kind of like suits their style a little bit better than the Beach Boys, I feel like. The fourth track, Poor Boy Shuffle, is kind of a decent little like instrumental. I think that it's supposed to be like them playing like this, or like they are on the album cover, so I guess it's kind of one of the concept songs on the album along with the first track. And it's not anything special to me. It doesn't like take away from my enjoyment of the album any, but it's like something that I view as kind of non-essential on here. Like if I wasn't listening to the whole album, I probably would never like listen to it. Fifth track, Feelin' Blue, was one that I wasn't like super into first couple times I heard it, but it's grown on me. It's sort of more of, it's more of what I call like a groove song, I guess. Where it just kind of like it settles into this kind of groove and just kind of goes and doesn't really like vary much. It's got like the chorus is a little bit repetitive, I feel like, but it's a good song. Not like one of my favorites, but I definitely enjoy it quite. Next track, Fortunate Son, I think is kind of at least the song that I like associate with this album the most. That's a hit. It's never been like my favorite hit by these guys, but I really like it. Didn't kind of like it when I first heard it. The first time I heard it wasn't like when I was getting into this band. It was when it was on a video game. I had this video game called Battlefield Vietnam, and it was like the opening video sequences song. So I heard it there, and I wasn't like crazy about it because at the time it was kind of heavier than what I was listening to, because I was like listening to country music. But over the years, it's grown on me a lot. It's kind of like everyone I talk to always calls it like the Vietnam song, or like associates it with Vietnam, but I don't even really think it's about that. But anyway, great song. So then the 7th track, Don't Look Now. This one, another one that kind of took a little bit of time to grow on me, but it's almost like, I don't want to say it's a country song because it's kind of like not, but I don't know, it kind of like leans that way a little bit to me, at least the way it sounds. Because like his vocals like a little more subdued on it than the rest of it, at least like delivery wise. But I don't know, I like it. I like the drums on it. He does some like cool bass drum things. I really like Doug Clifford's drumming on this whole album, pretty much the whole band. Like I'm kind of a like compulsive air drummer when I listen to music, even though I play guitar, but I'm really bad about it with this album for some reason. So the 8th track, Midnight Special, good cover. I kind of always enjoy like singing along with it, but yeah, solid cover. 9th track, Side of the Road. This is probably my least favorite track on the album. It's an instrumental. It's not bad or anything. I just kind of find it like a little bit inessential, a little less interesting than the other instrumental. So yeah, definitely not my favorite track, but it doesn't like hurt my enjoyment of the album at all. And then the 10th and closing track, Effigy. I think it's a really strong closer. It's somewhat like tied for my favorite song on the album. Just like a really dark, creepy sounding song about like, I mean, pretty much a really dark, creepy subject. So it's fitting, but it's just I don't know. I really like the guitar in it. It's got some almost like ugly sounding guitar parts at different points, but I mean that like in a good way. He really even like on the guitar solo, it almost like his guitar sounds like fire. It's weird. It's like I can't really explain it, but it does. Like it sounds like a burning fire almost. It's weird. So I just love the atmosphere and how creepy this song is, and it's got a really strong closer. So yeah, Willy and the Poor Boys. I don't know. It's close to my favorite album by these guys. I don't know if it is yet. I think pretty much all the tracks with vocals on it are really strong. So the 2 instrumentals are the only things that like I could kind of do without on here. But I don't know, it's a really great album. It's amazing that they were able to make like 3 albums in a year and have all of them be like this good, and that this is the last one, which is probably like I feel like the strongest, at least to me. For bonus tracks on the CD version, there's not really a whole lot. There's a live version of Fortunate Son and It Came Out of the Sky, both from after Tom Fogerty quit when the band's a 3-piece, which I'll talk about that more when I review the live album on it. And then the last track on it is a kind of jam of Down on the Corner with Booker T, and it's good. It's an interesting version, but not a whole lot in the way of bonus tracks on this, but really strong album as a whole. I don't know if I'd recommend this as a starting place with them though, because it is a little bit different for them than I guess like their hits. Even though it has some hits on it, I don't think it has like the biggest amount of hits on it. So